kindergarten, we had that annual celebration. A big stage, like now, costumes, dances, music, and of course, I shall never forget the big crowd full of parents, uh, beaming with pride for their children. And you know, it was my third year of the kindergarten stay, and during the previous two editions of the show, I had the spotlight. I was the host of this prestigious event, or at least that's how I perceived it back at the time. And you know, I walked so naturally during the role assignments of the third year, expecting nothing less than receiving that same main role once again, as I have started perceiving it as unquestionably reserved for me, the same way you reserve a table at a restaurant and you know that your place is guaranteed. But this time, it never was. Someone else got the role. A quieter kid, someone whom I thought did not deserve it at the time. And I was stunned. I turned from hero to zero, just like that. And I remember sitting in a tiny chair, in a tiny room, wondering, what did I do wrong? Why didn't they choose me? And you see, this story leads me to the following question, which I want to ask you as my audience. Has this narrative of mine unlocked memories of being overlooked at some point in your life? Now I want you all to close your eyes for a second. Think of a time when you have poured your heart and soul into something. Whether it is a school or work project, a favor for a close friend of yours, or just a job well done. A moment you longed to hear, I'm proud of you, I'm so proud of you. But instead, silence, or even worse, someone else gets the credit. You can open your eyes. Now, trust me, we have all been there. We have all felt that sting of feeling invisible in the moments that we wanted the opposite, to desperately be seen. And yet, many people still believe that external validation should not matter. That as long as you know your own worth, nothing should bother you. But here's what I came to believe and what I'm here today for. To tell you that appreciation is not and will never be a luxury. It's an essential human need. Now we live in an age that cultivates independence and self-sufficiency. We're taught from a young age, do not care about what others may think about you. You don't need anyone's approval. Living in the 21st century, where everything is literally at our fingertips, we have slowly turned into self-serving egoists, acting as if we are alone in this world. We scroll past other people's struggles the same way we scroll past content on TikTok or Instagram, without pouring any emotion into what we stumble upon. We hesitate to compliment, and we hold back words of appreciation. And why do we do that? Because we came to believe that it is not our responsibility to make other people feel seen. Or, as the status quo, which I previously mentioned with you says, each individual is sort of obliged to know his own intrinsic worth, and their entire acknowledgement should come from themselves. However, when we face that same neglect, for instance, when our teacher skips over our work, or our parents just forget to say, I'm proud of you, the realization hits us that no one is actually trying to make anyone else feel seen. Everyone's focused on themselves, waiting to receive appreciation, but rarely giving it. And it is when we realize this that we start to acknowledge that our own well-being is a two-way street. We should be ready to give something in order to gain. Now, we have evolved as species on a couple of pillars: mutual support, shared appreciation, and companionship. And I'm telling you, those were not just nice things to have in the history of evolution. Those are the essentials, ensuring both our survival and the continuity of humankind. But today, the evolutionary pattern is breaking down. Compassion and connection are taking a backseat. However, our well-being thrives on connection. It thrives on compassion. And yes, it thrives on recognition. And this is not just my opinion, it's psychology. I'm sure you have heard of Abraham Maslow and his famous hierarchy of needs, which maps out the human journey from the basic physiological needs to the self-fulfillment of each person. And so right after the foundation of his pyramid, where he puts security and food, there come two powerful social needs. Those are belonging and esteem. Because Maslow illustrates that we crave respect and we crave relationships. Without them, we cannot thrive. We simply survive. Because to appreciate someone is to tell you matter. And that message builds something inside us that solitude alone can never do. But now let's bring that to the real world. A survey led by a company, Bonusly, surveyed over 2,000 employees. And one of the top reasons why they left their jobs, not salary, not working hours, not workload either. It was lack of recognition. Nevertheless, what makes this statistic even more capturing is the fact that most of these employees shared that they valued peer recognition much more than a praise from their boss. Because guys, appreciation will never be about hierarchy. It's all about human connection on a basic level. And here is something I believe we all feel, but rarely name. That's the spotlight effect. Psychologists Thomas Gilovich and Kenneth Savitsky coined this term to describe how we tend to overestimate how much other people notice us. We believe that every mistake is magnified in the eyes of others. But today I'm not using it as a vanity. I'm using it as evidence, an eloquent evidence that shows how wired we are to care deeply about what others see in us. Because let's be honest, we want to be acknowledged, noticed, remembered. Even some of history's brightest minds struggled under the weight of being unseen. Franz Kafka, for instance, lived under a domineering father who constantly belittled him. His writings, filled with themes of alienation, were a mirror of his internal world. So unappreciated, he ordered that all his writings be burned after his death. Well, thankfully, his friend did not listen. Or Marilyn Monroe, the famous Hollywood icon. Behind the camera, she was the child shuffled through orphanages, constantly searching for belonging. Fame gave her the attention, but not the appreciation she craved. And her story reminds us that visibility is not the same as being valued. Now, these two powerful examples of famous people illustrate how the scarcity of external acknowledgement puts boundaries on one's lives. And no matter the fame they accumulate throughout their life path, the feeling of being unrecognized leaves an indelible mark upon their identity. Now, I will bring that even further. What I'm going to tell you, I want you to ingrain it in your thinking and your DNA, and recall it whenever you feel and see that someone is suffering from a lack of acknowledgement, or even you are suffering from a lack of acknowledgement. And so the claim goes like this: external validation and unlocking your human potential to prosper are directly proportional. The more you feel seen by others, the more confident you become that you are an invaluable and a unique person to the world around you. Now, in this hypothesis of mine, I believe you can even put an equal sign between recognition and encouragement, since the former pushes us to excel. In fact, in the process of crafting this speech, which I am delivering in front of you today, the most pivotal and transformative realization I had was exactly this, that all these terms, acknowledgement, recognition, visibility, which I mentioned a lot of times in the last 10 minutes or so, they motivate us to excel. They're not just here for the sole comfort of our well-being and existence. They're the quiet and unsung heroes of many, many successful stories. And guys, I'll leave you with the wise words of another Abraham. It's not the the American psychologist Maslow. It's the 16th president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. And so his wise words go like this: desire of being valued and loved by others is the only true motive of every individual. They remind us that in our pursuit of being recognized, that is not something that is acquired. It's not external. It's ingrained in each one of you. And guys, since you gave me a lot of recognition in the last 10 minutes, I shall allow myself to return that favor by taking a quick selfie with all of you. All right. I want to see your widest mouth. Thank you so much for letting me share this idea. It means a lot to me.